White House release published Thursday, November 13, 2025. Joint Statement on Framework for United States-Ecuador Agreement on Reciprocal Trade. President Donald J. Trump and President Daniel Noboa have announced a shared vision for growth between the United States and Ecuador. This vision is based on democratic values, private initiative, and a rules-based environment for commerce and innovation. Both countries have agreed to a framework for an agreement on reciprocal trade. This agreement aims to expand market access and strengthen cooperation on economic and national security issues. The agreement builds on previous economic engagement, including the U.S.-Ecuador Trade and Investment Council Agreement signed in 1990 and updated in 2020. Key terms include tariff reductions. Ecuador will reduce or eliminate tariffs on U.S. goods such as machinery, health products, information technology goods, chemicals, motor vehicles, and certain agricultural products. The United States will remove tariffs on certain Ecuadorian exports that are not produced in sufficient quantities in the U.S. Both countries will address non-tariff barriers. Ecuador will reform its import licensing and registration systems for food and agricultural products to increase transparency and reduce unnecessary barriers. Market access for U.S. cheese and meat products will not be restricted based on product names. Ecuador will advance trade facilitation by ending pre-shipment inspection mandates and expanding its authorized economic operator program to include express delivery carriers within 3 months. On intellectual property, Ecuador will ensure transparency regarding geographical indications and address issues identified in the 2025 Special 301 report. Both countries will continue to finalize commitments on international intellectual property treaties. Ecuador has committed to protect labor rights, strengthen enforcement of labor laws, and prohibit the importation of goods produced by forced or compulsory labor. On the environment, Ecuador will maintain high levels of environmental protection, improve forest sector governance, combat illegal logging, encourage resource efficiency, implement fisheries obligations under the World Trade Organization, and fight illegal wildlife trade. Ecuador will not introduce new discriminatory barriers to services and will remove barriers on advertising services. For digital trade, Ecuador will facilitate digital trade by not imposing discriminatory digital service taxes and supporting a permanent moratorium on customs duties for electronic transmissions at the World Trade Organization. Both countries are committed to strengthening economic and national security cooperation. They will enhance supply chain resilience, address non-market policies, combat duty evasion, and cooperate on investment security and export controls. The United States and Ecuador are working to finalize the agreement, prepare it for signature, and complete domestic procedures before it enters into force. The United States will remove certain tariffs on qualifying Ecuadorian exports in recognition of Ecuador's commitments. Progress will be reviewed through the Trade and Investment Council to ensure ongoing cooperation on trade and investment matters. Thanks for listening. The full source material for this summary is in the description below.